This is the first time that I've ever brought up notes to make a speech for. We call them the Christmas dinners. I call them the Christmas Hanukkah dinners, if that's okay. I hope you don't mind. But I call them New Year's dinners too. But I've made about 20 of them so far. I never had any others. I brought this up. You know why? I've done so much for Israel that I have to read. Look at it. I got like pages. And I don't want to leave anything out. I don't want to leave Golan Heights out. I want to tell you what we did. But it's an honor to help you. I have so many friends, and a lot of you are right in this audience. Very special group of people. You know, for every time we have one of these parties, we have to turn down 10 people for everyone that makes it. It's the White House. Soon you'll have a ballroom that's so big I can handle. And we just won the case today.
Israel's a good investment for America because we have common values and common enemies. If we had to replicate the capability of the IDF in the region, we'd have to double our military budget. Not one American soldier has died in the pursuit of what Israel has done, not only on behalf of the Jewish state, but I think the region and the United States. So to all those who think that this is we can't afford to help Israel, you're an idiot. We can't afford not to help Israel because Israel does more for us than anybody in the region in terms of our national security.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures on Wall Street. Man, I'm excited to be here today. So happy that this year is ending. Man, a lot of weird things happened this year in 2025. But guess what? You still have air in your lungs. You still have breath to breathe. Aren't you grateful? It is a blessing that the air in our lungs are there. Great are you, Lord. That's a great worship song. Anyways, name's Carlos Cortez. Thanks for signing on today and checking us out at Scriptures on Wall Street. If you haven't yet, go ahead and please like and subscribe our YouTube channel on Rumble. And I believe we're working on Spotify. But yeah, we are just growing. I'm so excited about what 2026 is going to bring. So many new things. We're going to be really following AI and how this is affecting as a retirement planner. How is it affecting your business, banking? It literally is going to be changing everything around you, from your work to how you are track, trace, and control. But guess what? There's a lot of evil out there, and I want to expose it. But more importantly, also want you to understand that there's a good side to technology, and we're going to be following it very closely in 2026. I promise you that. Also, I will be rolling out a business coaching consultation program for anyone that owns a business. I will literally have you increase your revenues and coach you through how we can automate your company. What is your pain point? Maybe it's leads. Maybe it's marketing. We can automate all this stuff for you and bring you more and more revenue to your company. I'll be introducing a whole coaching program just on that, on how to live more and work less, and obviously earn a decent income doing it in the process. So if you're interested in that, pay attention, like and subscribe. If you're a business owner, I want to talk to you about your pain points and how we can have a solution, whether it's emailing, whether it's marketing, whether it's books, whether it's content creating social media, whether it's just automating the whole process. We're going to help you hand over fist, and it'll be automated. It'll be great. And you'll look forward to going to work and helping your customers or your clients. With that being said, guys, everything on this podcast is meant for information and education purposes only. Although I am a financial advisor, this is not financial advice today. If you would like financial advice, give us a call, 813-448-3446. Or you can visit us at CortezWM.com. Again, CortezWM.com. One of my favorite sites, if you're just looking to protect your money from the Luciferian stock market, you can go to greenmoneysolutions.com and get you some insurance on your money. Yes, Those are insurance-based products that guarantee your principal. That is not in the banking index. That is not in the stock market. That you don't even get a quarterly statement. You get an annual statement because a security typically comes in the form of quarterly statements, according to the Securities Act of 1934. So, but we're not talking about securities here, nor am I recommending it. However, go to Green Money Solutions if you want to avoid the banking crisis, if you want to avoid all the nastiness, and you like bonds and you like CDs, but you don't like the institutions, but you like the safety of how that sounds, you're really not getting principal protection. If you want guaranteed principal protection, go to greenmoneysolutions.com. I can't stress it enough for those of you that want to protect your principal outside of the stock market. Look, 2026 is going to be another banger year for AI. 2026 could be another 15 to 25% a year again. So this year we're up about 14.5% on the S&P 500. 15.7 as of the 16th of December. The NASDAQ is closing in on 20% for 2025. I told you guys in the beginning of the year, the NASDAQ should have a good 15, 20%. Here we are. I mean, I wasn't BSing you guys. That's what I projected. That's why I was talking about the QQQ growth index earlier back in January. Didn't I tell you guys about the growth of the QQQ index? And check it out, man. 19.5% is where the QQQs are at. We have a green money account that captures 75% of the QQQ growth index. This index has ability to go in and out of the QQQs into 2-year treasuries or 10-year treasuries. And as the crazy Fed, the late to the party Fed, lowers interest rates, guess what happens to your bond prices? They go up, baby. They go up. Yes, they do. Those bond prices will go up as interest rates go down, unless the government continues to keep on printing and printing and printing and printing money and manipulating the whole situation. You know what else they're manipulating? These suckers. And man, do we love them. Man, have we had an awesome bull run with these. But look, let me tell you, just because you have precious metals doesn't mean you're Gucci. Doesn't mean you are A-okay. Does not mean you are safe. Precious metals is red money. Precious metals has the ability to be manipulated by the guys that you're trying to avoid. So be very careful. I still think silver will hit 100 in 2026, probably after the second quarter. I'm thinking maybe sooner. I don't know. Prove me wrong. I think it's going to hit around the second quarter of 2026. Silver. Right now, we're trading close to 70. We're going to be looking at some charts. This is me speculating. This is not me saying, go buy silver. This is not me recommending silver. This is just me talking about what I think could happen.
Don't buy an annuity unless you know how to double your money within 4 to 6 years. I'm talking about no fees, principal protection. The market goes down, you lose nothing. You get an annual statement because your money's not invested in the stock market. It's only credited by the index. And what is the number one index that I can find? That's going to be the NASDAQ. That's going to be AI. That's going to be technology. That's going to be healthcare technology. What are you doing not investing in that? You want to be able to have access to a principal protected account with no fees that has complete growth. If we look at the actual index, if you look at the NASDAQ, in 08, NASDAQ was down 41%. We made 53% the following year, a 19%. A 2%, a 16%. In 01 and the dot-com bombs, we made 49, a 10, a 1. And so right now the NASDAQ is down. It's a great time to get in. When Trump got in 2016 to 2020, the NASDAQ yielded over 100%. You can now effectively get into the NASDAQ without risking your principal, have principal protection, have no annual fees, and get your gains locked in. This is not found in your mainstream broker. This is not found on Wall Street. As a former stockbroker, I wish I had access to this to my clients. Give us a call. We want to help you, and we can work with all 50 states. God bless.
So I just did a normal search. NSF funds, banks, and check it out. Huge rapture and everything. U.S. signs face major uphill in 2025. Oh, look at Pocahontas here. Oh man, Cory Booker and Pocahontas at it again. Oh man. Oh shoot. Should I really click on this? I'm gonna go down a big rabbit hole on this. Oh Lord. Here we go. Cory Booker, Richard Blumel seeks answers from 21 credit unions with the overdraft programs by December 14th. Oh boy. So here is what I was going to say. Just kind of paraphrasing, right? Oh, so check this out. Look at this ad. The growing use of AI in banking. Man, did I just not mention that? I'm telling you guys, there's so much stuff that you don't even know about that AI is doing in the background that you're going to want to listen up. But let me paraphrase this article real quick. Overdraft and non-sufficient funds are one of the most common explosive mechanisms big banks use to extract money from low-income consumers, says Pocahontas and Cory Booker and Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut. The CFP, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, found nearly twice as many consumers with incomes from 35 to 65,000, what Pocahontas makes pretty much every day. These innocent people make that in a year. We're charged overdraft fees and NSF fees 35% versus consumers with incomes between 100 grand and 175, 18%. Oh, you're playing victim. Okay, so that's not fair that poor people don't know how to manage their money. That's why they're freaking poor. Jeez. Play the victim. Banks, they note that are exclusive in charging overdraft fees and NSF fees, of which the average consumer paid $225 per year. Less than 10% of customers account for 80% of the overdraft fees by the CFPB, data shows. Despite being created to serve individuals, the modest means also collect significant overdraft and NSF fees, the senators wrote. The letter follows the National Credit Union Admin March decision to stop publishing overdraft and NSF data for individuals, credit unions, and Republican lawmakers, which repealed the CFP rule, which have capped the overdraft fee at $5. Charging excessive overdraft fees for almost 40% of Americans' households have less than $400 to cover in emergency expenses. Prices for the food, utilities, and other essential items are rapidly rising, and Trump's chaotic half-baked policies are wreaking havoc on the economy is inexcusable, the senators wrote. These fees are not necessarily for a credit union survival, but one for the largest credit unions. Alliant Credit Union eliminated overdrafts fees and still had a record dividend payout to members. Oh, great. So socialism is now coming into Wall Street and the banks. Chicago, Illinois-based Alliant killed its overdraft fees in 2021. So there you have it. You got one side of the coin that wants to murder the consumer. You got the other side of the coin that wants to bring socialism to the bank. So what is it, guys? Is it capitalism and taking responsibility of your own checkbook? Or are we doing the Social Republic Bank of USA? Or Bank of Socialism USA? I don't know. But here's the deal, guys. How about we just take some damn responsibility, right? Let's learn how to balance a checkbook. Or maybe we don't spend money we don't have, right? And people say, oh, well, I don't make enough income. Let me tell you, I've heard that excuse my whole financial professional career. You know how many clients that have millions of dollars that were janitors, that were school teachers, that were firemen, linemen? I didn't want to say electrical because those guys are racking in the dough. Look, college is a scam. I will tell you that straight up. The more academic degrees you have, literally, the more academic degrees you have, the less street smart you are. Actually dumb. All these degrees and you're freaking dumb. How do you feel about that? You know why? Because you didn't have what it took to learn from the school of hard knocks. You were hiding yourself behind this academia thinking that I want to get all these degrees. But the people actually teaching you never really had true businesses, or else they wouldn't be teaching. They're in academia because that's what their personality requires. Let me tell you, successful businessmen, they hire and they mentor succession plan. Then they become consultants. They don't go into academia. Very rarely. And even if they do, they probably still have another business that will take away from their academic career. They're not going to school because they know that school is a waste of time when they should be building a business, helping others, and building their empire and teaching their kids how to build an empire so they can use that money for the glory of the kingdom, for the glory of their family. Now, I'm not saying that college is a scam, but it is a scam. If you're young and you listen to this, the only reason why you go to college is if you're trying to be an attorney or a doctor. So many things, guys. So many things that's coming to the forefront with AI. I really think the market's going to take off again in 2026. Here's what happened in 2025. All the news that came out that we thought that was going to melt the markets didn't melt the markets. They're so hard on with AI that it doesn't matter what you say about the economy. AI just takes over. And guess what? It's going to even be worse in 2026. That I can promise you. So this is why I call this podcast the toilet boom. Because although the economy's in the freaking toilet, they're lowering interest rates. We got banks that don't even have money. We have banks that are literally showing income off of NSF charges. We have 401k high withdrawal rates. We've never seen it. We have repossessions back. Automobiles are back. The job reports suck. Like everything shows a crappy economy. And this is why I call this show the toilet boom. Because our economy is in the toilet, but we're still booming. Anyways, there's a lot of manipulations, guys. A lot of manipulations. All you have to do, give us a call. We want to make sure that you are protected. I know 15 to 20% over the year sounds extremely attractive. And for a lot of my clients that picked option 3 and option 4 on greenmoneysolutions.com, they're going to be very excited when they get the anniversary statement. They're probably going to be making half of that with literally no risk. So all these people that made money in AI this year, they're 20%. Maybe they just bought the QQQs and chilled in the NASDAQ and made 19.5%. It could go higher in the next 2 or 3 weeks here or before the year end. It could go down. They're not guaranteed that 19.5%. That money is not locked in until they sell it and exercise it. Unless you have Green Money Solutions, when your anniversary date kicks in, whatever interest that is paying, that is now your new principal, contractually guaranteed. Now, when you have an account like that, you can go places, you can do things, you can rely on income. So check this out. This 21-year-old girl from Montreal, Brenda Aubin Vega, recently won a top lottery prize and made headlines by choosing the lifetime annuity option of $1,000 per week instead of a $1 million lump sum cash payout. What do you guys think? Did she pick the right option? At 20 years old, did she pick the right option? She won $1 million, and she chose the option to get $1,000 a week for life. Now, for a 20-year-old, I believe about 19 and a half, close to 20 years. She lives past the age of 39. She's in the black, like she's in the green. Call it whatever you want. She is profitable any year or any week after she's 39 years old. she is getting more than what she had. She recouped all her money. But here's a problem with that. She lives in a socialist country. There's taxation. She's here in America. You're younger than 59 and a half. You would have to annuitize it, which puts you in a different tax bracket. I mean, it is taxed differently. So anything under 59 and a half in a non-qualified annuity, you pay a 10% penalty right off the bat. And you're taxed on ordinary income. So the taxation is a little different when you annuitize it. Annuitize, basically, you no longer have access to the principal. It's annuitization. It's like a reverse mortgage on your money. You don't have access to it. And when you pass away, it doesn't get sent to your loved ones, or in her case, maybe she gets married. She doesn't pass it on to her husband. She doesn't pass it on to her kids. She's only 20 years old. She's not thinking that way. But I'm just curious, like, why would you elect $1,000 a week knowing inflation is a real deal worldwide? And in 20 years, that $1,000 would be feeling like $550. And in 30 years, it's going to feel like $250. All she had to do was take the million, put it in an income annuity that she still has access to, trigger the income rider on it at 6.5%. She would have been clocking $65,000 a year. And it could grow with the index. The 65 could grow to 70. 70 could grow to 80. As inflation grows, the income annuity grows. She still has access to her principal if she ever wanted to cancel it or refinance, or maybe, just maybe, there's still money left over and she could buy something with it. She'll forego her income, but I just thought she could have done a lot better. She could have stuck it in the Franklin Income Fund and make 4.5%, or I think it's paying 4.5%, and still have access to the $1 million. But maybe she doesn't trust herself. I don't know. What do you think? You think she made a good idea? I mean, was it a good idea to put her money in that? Everybody's different. There's no right or wrong. I mean, it's not terrible. The good news is that she doesn't have to worry about a job. She doesn't have to worry about overspending. She screws up 1 week. She screws up 1 month. Guess what? She's got another $4,000 coming in the next month. I mean, it is nice to have a weekly income like that. I totally understand why she picked it, but I don't think it was the best choice, the smartest choice. But at 20 years old, you don't have the financial knowledge. Maybe her parents don't have the financial knowledge. Maybe she doesn't trust a financial advisor. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Comment on it. Would you take in a lump sum, or 20 years old? Would you take the weekly payout for life? Just curious on what you guys think. I probably would have taken half of it, stuck it in an income annuity, half of it in a growth annuity, the other half, another quarter. No, you know what? If I was 20 years old, man, I actually would just put the whole thing in growth mode and not touch it for 15, 20 years and go to work like I never even had that money. And the moment my boss pissed me off, I would say, deuces, yo, I'm out. I don't need this job. I got a retirement. But I would have to work 10, 15 years like a normal person, just fly underneath the radar. Because $1 million in option 3 in Green Money Solutions pretty much is going to be in 20 years. I would imagine about close to $20 million in 20 years. So I'd work for 20 years and call it quits. So at age 40, I would retire. And then live off 5-6% interest. And that would probably on $12 million, on $20 million would be about $1 million in interest. And then I would probably go be a philanthropist, be a minister, spread God's word, do awesome things, change people's lives, feed the poor. and say the name of Jesus all over this globe. I'd probably do something like that. But that's not me. I have a microphone. I still say Jesus. And yeah, that's pretty amazing. So, anyways, congrats to her. You know, she did the best that she could do for herself, considering the circumstances. I don't know Canadian taxation laws, nor do I care. But God bless her. I hope she uses it for good. And I hope she doesn't seek comfort and become lazy. Because there is a scary story out there for those people that won the lottery. They lose it in 3-4 years on a lump sum option. But yeah, put that junk away. Put it away where you can't touch it. Let it grow 10, 20 years. Open it back up. And hopefully it's 10 times more than what you had. 5 to 10 times more at least. So anyways, with that being said, let's go over to the charts, man. Let's look at some cool stuff here. So this is my favorite ETF. This is not investment advice, guys. This is not recommendation. Please don't make any trades because I said it's one of my favorite ETFs. It's one of my favorite ETFs to trade. All right. Now, this is the S&P 500 times 3. Now, let me give you a caution on these leverage ETFs. These leverage ETFs are dangerous because there's a lot of slippage into these ETFs. They're a basket of index funds and they're leveraged with derivatives. So if the market goes up 10%, this will go up 30% on average. If the market goes down 10%, this will lose 30%. So be extremely cautious. This isn't a long-term hold on the buy or sell side. Now, looking at this, I don't think we are going to see a big Santa rally this year. Could be wrong. And this is on a daily. Let's check out our 4-hour. Yeah, we got a lot of sell pressure on a 4-hour, even on, I'd imagine on the 1 hour too. Yep, we got a death cross on the 1 hour. 4-hour, our daily, our weekly. Weekly, we got a little red nudge there. So losing momentum on the weekly, closing this year in probably with a target of anywhere from 19 to 20%. We could see a toilet bust, a toilet boom here. I don't know, man. Like, should I draw a little toilet bowl here? I don't know if I can do that. Hang on. I don't know, guys. I can't draw. That is not a toilet. So maybe it goes right into the toilet. Sell pressure goes right into the toilet. I don't know. Maybe Mike can do a cool graphic there. But anywho, not too bullish on the S&P 500 for the next few weeks. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Sell pressure. Yeah. Actually, let's look at SPXS. This is going to give us the opposite, which is going to be the opposite of XPXL. This is 3 times the negative, the downside. So we're looking at upward pressure here. Actually, this looks a lot better, which means the S&P 500 makes money when it goes down. Volatility index is at 16.47, the volatility index. So meaning there's not a lot of volatility. There's not a lot of trading volume in general. But if I had to guess and speculate, I would say this right here will be going up. Don't think it will go up too high, but it really could. So SPXS is definitely not a long-term hold. So please do not buy this and hold it long-term. You will lose not your money, but you will lose your ass. And I don't want that to happen to you. So this is not a recommendation. This is a very high-risk trade, and do not take this trade with money you want to lose. You will lose money in this trade if you don't know how to trade it. So again, I cannot stress enough, this is not a recommendation. I'm just talking about this for information purposes only. Please don't be an idiot and take this trade and say, I told you to take this trade. I will tell you in your face you're an idiot because I did not say that. And you just lost your butt. So, but hey, if you like giving money to the free public market, then by all means, lose your money. Because there's some people out there that will just buy this stuff thinking it's going to go up. Carlos said it. Carlos said it's going to do it. He trades it. And then they buy it and then they get smacked. And then they write me a bad review. And all of a sudden, I'm the one to blame. So I am telling you that this has some upside. That means the S&P 500 has to come down. If the S&P 500 comes down, this will do very, very well. For those of you that believe there is going to be a toilet boom, like the economy's in a toilet and it's just going to like boom down, flush down, boom in the toilet, down the toilet, this will be a great option. It's not going to be your gold and precious metals. This is going to be a very amazing option with your precious metals. Going to be completely what I call defensive growth. I mean, this and UVIX. Let's take a look at UVIX. These are fun contrarian options. So this is UVIX. You cannot buy the volatility index. Of course, we spoke about the volatility index being at 16.47. Sell pressure is down. That means the market has been going up. Sell pressure is down. Volatility is going up. Interesting, guys. Interesting. Market's going up on this particular one. So this is going to be interesting because if we do have a market sell-off, this is going to go up. But also, you know what I haven't talked about lately? And you guys know I love talking about it. It is the US dollar, baby. You know what's interesting is Japan. Japan, out of all people, own our dollar. They own our treasuries. They have been fanatics about us. Japan is currently the largest foreign holder of U.S. treasuries by any single country. Japan has roughly 1.1 trillion in U.S. treasuries, making it the largest foreign holder. China, historically the second largest, but its holdings have declined in recent years and are now lower than 800 billion. The UK has around several hundred billions right after China. Also, Canada, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Taiwan have our bonds as well. Pretty amazing stuff here, man, that Japan and China have our bonds. But yet, we go over to our US dollar. I find it interesting that the dollar is going down, but yet Japan keeps on buying our bonds, and so does China. I think China is just playing chess with us, right? We increase their their tariffs, and so they have our bonds. And so if we screw them up, they just sell our bonds, making our dollar weaker. So maybe they buy their bonds to pull the rug underneath us. Maybe they're just playing hardball. A lot of different theories on that. Either way, so what happens when the dollar goes down? You guessed it, gold goes up. But let's verify that. That's what the consensus says. Here we go. US dollar was going down, and guess what's going up? The dollar bill, y'all. It's the gold. The gold is going up. Right now we have 43.47. Holy smokes. This thing is just ripping. Probably will get to, let's see here, average trade range on this puppy is $68 in a day. Look at this momentum. So let's just look at some waves here. Okay, so I'm just doing a very conservative wave projection here on this one to kind of show you a modified Fibonacci projection on gold. Get my ruler out. So if I was to put this here based on the average waves, which would be about another 500-point wave roughly. So that would put us 44.35. Calling it, bro. Definitely going to blow through 44.35. Might see some resistance there. But the average trade range is 68.395. So yeah, could easily go to 44.35. So we could see gold at 44.35 here this month. If we don't get any crazy selling pressure. But as this bull run continues, 44.35 definitely should hit that as a projection, as a target. Again, not investment advice, but that's where I think it's going to go before it starts to bounce back down. Now, if it goes back down, that means the dollar is increasing and people are getting out of gold to get back in the stock market. So pretty interesting stuff, man. And it doesn't matter. It's the same thing with our friends at silver. Look at silver. The windows are going to be the same momentum. Huge takeoff here. Eventually, what happens with these crazy runs is they run out of gas. But I think silver will hit 100 at the end of Q1. I would say about March, I think silver could go to 100. Of course, this is recorded, so I'll either look like a gangster or a complete doofus. So yeah, we could see an average trade range on this sucker is $2.20. That means it moves $2 on average a day when it moves down or up. So yeah, I know it's pretty bullish, but I think we could see another easy 100% target on silver, and it won't stop there. It could go all the way to 150. You know, there's so much demand for AI. There's so much demand for technology. They have to have silver in order to facilitate this stuff. It's insane. These little bars I have on my desk, they were just there for props, honestly. They were only like $200 or $300 a bar. Now each one's going to be almost $2,000 a bar.
You have the Clarity bill, you have the Genius bill, you have the stablecoin bill. All these bills are there to change the financial landscape of what is about to come. What are you doing right now to protect your money, your retirement, from all these CBDC-like systems that is already track, tracing, and controlling you? Even more so with the AI revolution that we're in right now. We've been talking about this for so long now, and we are effectively helping clients protect their money, secure their retirement, get out of red money, support your values, support America, and not this CBDC system. They mask it as ESG, they mask it as DEI, they mask it as all these things, but at the end of the day, it's all about track, trace, and control. Been a financial advisor for 20 years now. We know what we're doing, and we want to help God-fearing patriots secure their retirement. God bless. Click the link below if you would like to have a conversation.
We get a lot of phone calls from people that want to know about Green Money Solutions. They say, hey, Carlos, I saw you on the podcast, and it sounds like you got a way to make money and protect your money from the stock market, which I don't agree with. And I don't want my money in the bank, and I don't want to lose money. So Green Money Solutions is designed for people like you. Green Money Solutions has the ability to protect your principal and actually guarantee your funds. What's interesting is that I could say the word guarantee because I'm acting as an insurance agent. Even though I'm a financial advisor, I wear different hats. I have different licenses. And for people that don't understand that, are ignorant, they say, oh, he's not allowed to use the word guarantee. Yes, I am, in the form of the insurance world. And so Green Money Solutions is all about guarantees, whereas red money and securities, I cannot even say the word guarantee. It doesn't exist. It is a bad, bad word. What's interesting is Green Money Solutions has the ability to protect the principal because it is not invested in the stock market legally. And so all you got to do is go to greenmoneysolutions.com and you can see for yourself that there's different options. Now, I don't know what you're going to be doing this year, but one of the things that our clients have already done proactively, they've picked an option. They already fortified and earmarked how much they want to protect, put away, put in an account that they can protect, have a guarantee, a bucket of money that they know that could never, ever lose to the stock market or insolvency of the FDIC or some rhetoric of a creditor coming in and taking money out, or a financial reset, or a financial collapse, or what the economy is doing. They already have insurance on their money because insurance contract law is different from banking laws. Insurance contract law is different from securities laws. Insurance contract law is different from property and casualty laws. It is completely different because your insurance is based on your life. So we utilize life insurance carriers to open up an IRA or to open up a non-retirement account. So you get the jurisdictions that suit you and your state and not the jurisdictions that are not in your favorability. And you know what I'm talking about. So if you go over to Green Money Solutions, you can pick these options. We got a 5-year, a 10-year, another 10-year. The sweet spot's going to be the 10-year. The 5-year is not in every state. Actually, you got to give us a call to make sure it's a right fit for you, suitability wise. But the whole premise of this is that it's going to be based off some index, whether it's the S&P 500, whether it's a rotator index or the NASDAQ. And the rotator index is cool because it can blend into the S&P, the NASDAQ, commodities, and treasuries. But the NASDAQ, look what the NASDAQ has already done. This past year, it's already accumulated over 19.5%, the NASDAQ. You would have been able to capture most of those gains within a QQQ growth index. So that would be option 4. You got no fees, no risk. You can capture the NASDAQ. Now going into 2026, I hope you have some form of exposure to AI because that's where the boom is going to happen. But we're going to have access to a growth vehicle that will not hinder your principal. Now, you could call your advisor and you'll say, oh, that's not such a thing. He may not have access to this because these products are not mainstream products. It is equivalent to telling a holistic doctor to ask about a program in Big Pharma Hospital. As an independent fiduciary, independent advisor, independent insurance advisor, there are things that I have access to that the big banks don't. Privatize wealth management, privatize insurance solutions for your money. And let me tell you, one of the best things that I ever did in my career early, I ate a lot of peanut butter and jelly and ramen noodles, and my mom gave me her card, and I maxed it out every single month. And man, did I pay her back. But I was willing not to take a paycheck from these big banks that were telling me to offer these crappy products to these innocent people and stick them in red money and do these seminars and get wine and dine by them and play the mutual fund game and play the 12B1 game and wine and dine these clients only for them to be charged fees and to lose money in the 08s of the world. I wasn't going to do it, man. So I was willing to sacrifice, live like a poor kid building this business. I was a broke financial advisor, but I was a financial advisor that had a purpose, that literally was willing to die financially to let people know that there are better ways to save in their retirement. My mom told me to get a job. She said a McDonald's manager makes more than you. You went to school. You're good with people. Why are you struggling financially? That was like my first 3 years in the business. She doesn't understand. Well, I did. And I'm here to tell you, I don't regret it. And these options are available to you. These options have the ability to grow your assets. Typically, option 3 is an account that could double your money within 4 to 6 years. Look, the S&P 500 yielded 15%. Imagine getting close to half of that. with no risk and fees that are less than 1%. Some of them don't even have any fees. So go to Green Money Solutions. Let's protect your principal. Let's just see if this is a good fit for a portion of your money. We're not asking for all your money, just a portion of money, that funds that you want to protect in your state, and you want to double potentially in the next 4 to 6 years and give it to your kids or utilize it for your retirement. So you're not making a silly mistake like the 21-year-old in Canada. Maybe you have your own private program. Maybe you're 40 years old. You got 100 grand. You don't know what to do with it. Put it in option 3. In 20 years, you'll have close to $4 million from a projection standpoint. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, but this can be a reality for you. Maybe you're 60 years old and you got $500,000 and you just want to live off the interest. Well, let me tell you, you can opt in for option 3 and enjoy the growth of the S&P 500, live off that interest, and it's not out of the scene where your money pretty much doubles. So if you had $500,000, you're pulling $500,000 within 10 years, and you still have more than $500,000 in your principal. That's how you do it, guys. Now, for those of you that don't have money, you're younger, your money is your time, but you got to put the money away in a safe, secure spot where it can compound every single year. Now, if you are older and you don't have time, I hope you have some money, at least $250,000. You can put $250,000 in option 3 or in option 4. Typically, it'll double within 4 to 6 years on average. You got $500,000. Now you're plucking 5 to 6% out. You take your Social Security, you're making a few grand a month. You take your military pension if you're blessed to have one, or if your wife has Social Security and a pension, you got 4 incomes coming in, and you've never really even touched your principal. This is a great vehicle for that. And I don't know your situation. This is why it's very important. You got to call. Do not sit on this, guys. Do not sit on the market and say, "Oh, someday I'll call them. While the economy goes in the toilet, you're going down with it. The toilet, boom. All they got to do is flush that toilet, and you're going down with it. I can't help you once you're down in the tubes. I can help you if you're in the toilet. I can pull you out, plunge you out. But once they flush it, brothers, sisters, I can't help you. So let's make it a priority going into 2026 that it shouldn't been a problem, or it could be a problem. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? I shoulda reached out to him. I coulda reached out to him. Please don't have that verbiage in your mouth come the next market correction. I'm laying out the red carpet. We've already done a due diligence on a lot of these companies. These companies are American born. They're great assets to your everyday American portfolio. They don't fund the woke agenda. And more importantly, your money's not invested in Pfizer or some security that goes against your beliefs and your benefits. So, guys, I'm out of here. It's late on my side, but I love y'all. Please like and subscribe. Go to my Rumble channel. I need some followers there and some YouTube. Please help us out. But more importantly, go to Get Me Lean USA. Get your peptides. Let's get in shape for this new year. New Year's resolutions suck. It's all about discipline and choosing every single day to be in a caloric deficit, choosing every day to stay healthy in God's word, to stay healthy in your marriage and your faith and your fitness and your finance. Also, peptides don't hurt either. You can go to getmeleanusa.com, get you the performance pack, which is my favorite. You can subscribe and you can cancel anytime. No pressure. All the stuff that you do purchase from them does help with the expensive cost of scriptures on Wall Street. So thank you so much. Also, be sure to visit CortezWM.com. Book an appointment with us. Let us give you a second opinion going to 2026. Let's look at your fees. Let's look at your risk. Let's get a risk score. Let's get an actual calculation of what type of risk. And let's simulate, what if the market goes down 15, 20%? How long will it take based on your current investments to make it back? Many of you don't know. Many of you don't even know the fees you're taking, let alone the standard deviation. Call your advisor, year-end advisor, and say, Mr. Advisor, I would like to know what my standard deviation is. And just sit back and hesitate and let them hesitate. If they hesitate, then they don't even know what that is. Then what are they doing giving you advice on that money? Because that is the actual metric that exposes the risk in your portfolio. It is the risk measurement in order to retain or achieve a certain rate of return. So if you're about 50 years old, you definitely don't want to be over 15, 16%. If you're 60 years old, you want to be around 10 to 13%. And if you're over 65 or in your 70s, you want to dial that back down to under 15%, maybe closer to 8. And if the older you are, you want to be around 6 to 7, 8% if you're in your 80s. And that's if you like low to moderate volatility. But Green Money Solutions, there is no standard deviation because there is no risk. And I think that has a place in everyone's portfolio. Not all of your money, but there's a place for it. And I want to help you. I want to be on the same page with you. You should be on the same page as your advisor, spiritually, mentally, academically, politically, ideologically. And many of you have advisors that you can't even talk about Jesus with. You can't even talk about COVID vaccine. You can't even talk about anything. It's sad. Really is sad. Because you're putting a mask on. Take the mask off. Be yourself. I've done it for 5 years now. I get criticized down to a local level on my hockey team. I get criticized on Reddit. I get criticized pretty much everywhere. And you know what? I'm at a point where I'm laughing. My scriptures for the night, fellas. James 1. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Consider it pure joy. So the trials are going to come. Things are going to come. Consider it pure joy, guys. Because God knows it is a test of perseverance. He knows that you need him. And that all this exercise, all this fear, anxiety that the Satan utilizes to scare you and to make you a small little thing, you need Jesus. You need a relationship with Christ to get you out of it. And consider it pure joy, brothers and sisters, that you got punched in the face, that you got hit with the lawsuit, that you lost that person, that business deal didn't go through. Consider it pure joy. Because if your heart is right, God will make waves and move mountains for you. Don't even worry. Because our faith is in him. Our faith moves mountains. And he said, if you have a faith like a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. And my Jesus is sufficient enough. He always provides on time in his perfect time. So let that be your inspiration. Let's be bold about our faith going in 2026. I don't want to see all these people say, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to make money. I want to do this. I want to do that. No one ever talks about, I want to grow closer to Jesus. I want to go closer to my wife. I want to grow closer to my children. No one ever says that. It's all about themselves and their failed New Year's resolutions. Toilet bowl. It's already in the toilet bowl the moment they say resolutions. Revelations. They need to be lifestyle changes this year, months ago. So God bless you guys. Go to CortezWM.com. Book your appointment. Let's get a second opinion. Of course, everything on this podcast is information, education purposes only. I love you guys, and I will talk with you soon. God bless you, and we'll talk soon.
But the cross is my weapon, and the truth is my tame. Unapologetic, I won't bow, I won't hide. Latino blood, American pride, with a word in my heart and the fire in my speech. I'm a warrior for the kingdom on scriptures and Wall Street.
So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent, and we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses. And I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership, is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural groundbreaking peptides. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out.